Good afternoon. My name is Leanne Stos, and today's lesson is for ninth grade algebra. The students will be learning to graph on a Cartesian plane, and the learning objectives is that the students will comprehend and understand the necessary vocabulary in order to graph a line segment. And the English language development learning objectives are that they will be exchanging information because they're going to be in groups, and then they will be analyzing the vocabulary that goes with this unit, and they were writing the information into a graphic organizer. And the SEDI strategy that I'm going to be using is clustering webbing mapping activity, and this is part of the into strategy part of the lesson plan. Okay, students, let's come back together. Let's kind of quiet down a little bit. Let's go over your little chart graphic organizer that you just filled in. So let's start at the very top. We're talking about the Cartesian plane, and everything that we're going to talk about in the vocabulary has to do with the Cartesian plane. Okay, so let's start with the top, 4 quadrants. Okay, so the number 1 quadrant over here, you have the symbols plus, plus, and that means that your x coordinate and your y coordinate are both positive. Okay, so that guy has a really good attitude because he's totally positive. Okay, and then if you move to the left side of your Cartesian plane, that is quadrant 2. Okay, and he's starting to lose it a little bit, so the x guy is negative, and then the rise number, the y, is actually positive. Then if you move down, they're both negative. X and y have both lost their hope, and they're both negative. And then on the bottom right-hand side, you have the positive x and the negative y. Okay, so that builds on the 4 quadrants. So let's talk about how I've branched off here on your Cartesian plane on both sides. And yours doesn't have to look exactly like mine. If you didn't get them in the same order or whatever, it's okay. I just wanted you to know that each one of these vocabulary words builds on a precept from a previous one. Okay, so let's talk about this. So we have your ordered pair, which is your x, y numbers, okay? And so that's what this is right here, x, y, okay? And then from your ordered pair, you should be able to find your y-intercept and your x-intercept, okay? Your y-intercept in your slope formula, y equals mx plus b, your y-intercept is that b number, and we're going to learn how to do that, not with this activity, but we are going to learn how to do that because you guys are all geniuses. So let's go jump to the other side. Let's go down to slope here, and that's what we're actually going to be really zeroing in on today, okay? So slope is depicted by the letter m in the y equals mx plus b formula, okay? So you guys got to see a really cool YouTube video for rise over run, and it talked about when you rise, it's positive. If you fall, it's negative. So that is your change in y. Okay, that goes on the top of this slope formula, how to find slope. Okay, so that is your m. You're looking for m, which is slope, and it's your change in y. So y2 minus y1. So you're taking 2 ordered pairs. You label them y2 and y1, and then you subtract them. We call it stack and subtract. Okay, so then the bottom number, the denominator, is going to be your x numbers, x2 minus x1. Okay, once you find that slope, you simply substitute it in for the m variable in y equals mx plus b. Okay, and since you have ordered pairs, you can actually substitute an xy pair in for x and y to find what b is, and once you solve for b, then you have your y-intercept. Sounds great, doesn't it? Or Greek. Great or Greek? Which one is it? Anyway, so this is just the beginning. We will actually make sense and unfold this whole thing for you guys. So let's continue. Once you know what your slope is, you can find out if your slope is positive, if your slope is negative, if your slope is 0, or if your slope is undefined. Okay, so how many of you guys ski? Okay, so some of you guys ski. So slope is something that's very important for a ski resort, okay? So slope is actually applicable to today's world. It's a real world thing. So we are going to get into that later, but just for the purposes of this activity, we wanted to make sure that you have a handle on all of the vocabulary.